A teen Pokemon player was disqualified for offending a non-binary Pokemon judge. So, this is funny to me because not even the world of the nerds is safe, and there's a lot of woke people in the nerd world, period. And there should be some spaces where people can just be allowed to just go and enjoy life, and you don't have to deal with this nonsense. But just being disqualified from a Pokemon tournament is so wild. It's so wild, and really why I wanted to talk about this particular story, because it is nuts. It is just nuts. So yeah, Pokemon player disqualified for offending non-binary judge. So Makani Tran, a young Pokemon trading card game player from Utah, was disqualified from the Pokemon TCG regional tournament in Charlotte last week after he allegedly made the judge presiding over his 6-round match uncomfortable about their pronouns, according to Tran, who posted about a disqualification in his twit longer when the judge asked for his preferred pronouns before the match. He responded with his pronouns he, him, but let out a little nervous laugh due to the nerves and being embarrassed. From his account, after that, the judge asked once more, "What are your guys' preferred pronouns?" Alex, my opponent, says he and him, and then I say, yeah, and him, haha. The little laugh at the end was because I was trying not to be awkward and because I was just stating that exact thing Alex had just stated, and it was kind of silly to me in that scenario. Then the judge looked at me and said, "Okay, just wanted to check and be safe. I go by they, them, so don't be a jerk about it." It's so it's so ridiculous. They smiled after this and gave no signs whatsoever of being upset or uncomfortable. When they said, "Don't be a jerk about it," I thought they were just saying in general, like in the future or something. I had no clue that I had upset them, and I had no intention to do so whatsoever. After the first match, a group of judges approached the area and began speaking with Shimatsuke, telling Tran to keep his headphones on so he couldn't overhear the conversation. One of the judges puts on a headset and then asked me, Connie, what was it that you said to the judge when they asked for your pronouns? This is where I began to get a bit worried and wondered if I had done something wrong. And just mind you, at this point of the tournament, when he had started the 6th round, he was 5-0. So going in strong, was going up against a good competitor. So nervous anyway. And this is really unfair just in general. Nerds are awkward, period. Not period, like as definitively. There's cool, confident people into nerdy things, but there you can go to conventions and see nerdy people up the wazoo who don't understand social cues and other kind of stuff anyway. So to throw someone out over like nervous laughter when they just did 5-0, and it's just so ridiculous. So it's just really unfair. Just we'll keep going. The judge then asked me if there was anything else I had said, and they wanted to know what my tone was during the conversation. They said this is very important that I answered this truthfully. I said the only possible thing I might have done that could have been taken the wrong way was when I laughed a bit and told them that I was just nervous. The judge then told me to walk off the stage and talk off the stage. I was still confused during this, and even more confused when I see two more players walking on stage to take Alex in my spot. I walked behind the curtains by the stage, and the head judge asked me what exactly was said. I explained what happened, and that the nervous laugh was because I was embarrassed and because of what went down at Baltimore. During this, I was very polite and calm, and I made sure to clearly get my point across and made it extremely clear that I had no intention whatsoever of harming or upsetting anyone. The head judge seemed to understand, so I was a bit relieved. But then he pulls out the rule book on his phone and says that due to me violating their inclusive policy, and due to me making someone feel unsafe and uncomfortable, I was disqualified from the event. This is a judge who got this person disqualified because of a nervous laugh while they're asking what are your pronouns, he, him, and nervous chuckle because this person was a they. So this person took it out on them and got them kicked out of the tournament. This is crazy. This is where it really escalated. The head judge tells me that he was sorry and that it sucked, but I was disqualified due to Pokemon's policy. At this point, I'm at the verge of tears, but I tried my best to keep my composure. I just couldn't understand what was happening. Was the judge not listening to anything I just told him? Was he trying to look at my side of the story at all? One last time, I asked if I can appeal and if there's anything I could do. I asked to talk to another judge or to the judge that I had upset, but all of my requests were refused. The head judge then tells me that it was already done and they had disqualified me. I ask, so you've already disqualified me even though I just told you what happened? And he said, yes, I know this sucks for everyone involved and I'm sorry, but we have to do this. How is nervously laughing about pronouns making you feel unsafe? This has been, it's just, these people are unwell. These people are unwell to, it's just a, I don't want to belittle and say it's just a game. It is just a game, but people get very into their, things like this. I'm a nerd. I can sympathize with that. Um but for a judge to disqualify over this and be so in their feelings when they're supposed to be looking at the games. And I don't know what judges exactly do during those matches, but I've never really got into the tournament and the cards and stuff, but usually when you have a judge or a referee or whoever, you want them to be impartial, so they just go by the rules of what's going on. And so for someone to be so easily triggered because of some nervous laughs or whatever is just sick. It's just sick. Um, Soon after the exchange, the judges informed Tran he was no longer allowed inside the venue. Can't even get a hot dog no more. Tran, minor. I didn't know they were a minor. I mean, I read his thing. I didn't know he was a child. Oh, told them he didn't have a cell phone service and had no way to contact anyone and didn't have the key to his hotel room. Oh, regardless, a staff member escorted him out of the venue and cut off his wristbands. Oh my gosh! Can you imagine being a child playing Pokemon cards and they walk you out like a criminal and you have your wristband that has all these memories of doing these nerdy things. I've had many wristbands in my day going to places, and someone just snips it right off like they're ripping out your heart. This is so sick. At a previous tournament in Baltimore, Tran says that he felt embarrassed a bit, but the commentators referred to him as they, them because those aren't his pronouns. But he has zero issues with people's pronouns and how they choose to identify and express themselves, he wrote in his post. Um, Tran also wrote that in years previous to the tournament, he was extremely suicidal and depressed, but was finally starting to feel better. And they cut off this poor baby's wristbands. The way I was treated made me feel so upset and treated so unfairly that I was nearly running into the middle of the road and getting ran over. I wanted it all to be over. Just done with everything. There was no point to anything for me. My dream of winning a regional with my own deck, with my deck, I had to put so much time and work into was just taken away from me. After Tran posted his account of the disqualification, there was an outpouring of support for him on Twitter, and his friends started a GoFundMe to help Tran recoup the expenses associated with the room and board. Other voices defended the judges involved in the disqualification. Will Post, one of the head judges at the tournament, said, whether you agreed or disagreed with the ruling, a Pokemon judge should not have to worry about people coming to a workplace over a call they were involved with at a Pokemon tournament. If you think doxing people over a judge calls is the right play, go home and rethink your life. Well, people shouldn't be doxing, but what the judge did was wrong. When asked for comment about the incident, Post replied, "I won't be taking any questions." Bobby Clark, another head judge, was also not available for comment. Shemansky, trans opponent, told us, "There's nothing I know that isn't publicly already public, and I was uninvolved beyond being his opponent when it happened." Yesterday, he tweeted that he didn't think Makani should have been disqualified and appears to have donated to his GoFundMe. He said, "This is probably a dangerous tweet for me. Should he have been disqualified? I don't think so. But remember, y'all, this is an excuse to attack inclusivity, people's identity. Also, remember that judges are, by the rules, completely unable to share their side of things." Seems like we know his side of things. So we reached out to Tran for comment via Twitter and didn't receive a response, but he did tweet today that he does not want this incident to be used to bully and harass the trans community. Previous to the tournament, the organizers issued a player announcement stating that Pokemon Company International is committed to fostering an environment that is inclusive to all participants, regardless of factors including but not limited to age, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, and or disability. So here's the thing. People are so obsessed with being inclusive, or at least that's what they claim. They don't mean that. They absolutely don't mean that at all in the slightest, in the least bit. Absolutely not. They care about their protected class. You have a child, a minor. I don't, maybe they're 17 or whatever, but they're minor. They're a kid. And they're a nerd too. They're playing Pokemon, for crying out loud. There's some awkwardness there. So there's just I've gone to any like there's been events I've gone to where people did play cards though. And I have friends that are into it, for sure. I know more people in the Magic the Gathering though, but you know, if you go into nerd spaces, not everyone is like socially all, perfect. And I'm a, awkward bit of a person, very introverted. I know it doesn't seem that way. You're just watching me from a screen. We're not going room to room talking to people. I hate that, but I can sing in front of thousands of people, no problem though. But work in a room, still working on that. But yeah, I know what it's like to go to Comic-Con and people not being like, just being a little weird or being even a little rude and not knowing that they're rude. That's just life. But this is the kid. He did nothing wrong. He just hurt someone's feelings, who's just too triggered all in themselves, and a minor made you feel unsafe, so you had to kick them out of the tournament. They had to lose their dream after being 5-0. This poor kid, and you cut his wristband. Not because you care about making it a safe space for all people, because a safe space would be understanding, and they weren't. So, gosh, what a terrible story. What a terrible story.
Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you go to blacktnews.com and check out different articles, different videos, and also check out our merchandise. If you like what I do, you can also support the website on the donate page. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also that notification bell. God bless.